Dad? He's the quintessential villain, the kind of deranged secondary character you love to hate. He'd planned to drug the heroine, intending a classic kidnap and imprisonment scenario, but ended up being intercepted by a forgotten side character, a woman who secretly adored him. That woman, my mother, vanished overnight after I was born, leaving me on his doorstep. Naturally, my dad wanted to wring my neck. I'd often hear him loading a gun, muttering, if it weren't for this burden, Mina and I would be together. One day, I swear, I'm going to finish her off. The next moment, I'd bat my big eyes, piping up in my baby voice, Dada. His menacing scowl would freeze solid. He'd grumble about me being bad luck, yet still make me the best formula, kicking a bodyguard when the water was too hot. His murderous intent never truly wavered, until I was 6. That's when Mina, the heroine who'd been using my dad as a backup, finally showed up. Just get rid of this bastard, and I'll agree to be with you. My dad was crouched on the floor, assembling a Lego castle for me. He didn't even pause, just let out a dismissive scoff. You? Don't flatter yourself. The moment I woke up in this new body, things were dire. I realized I was an infant, dangled upside down in midair. The bodyguard holding me was on his knees, trembling. On the plush leather sofa in front of us sat a man. He was undeniably handsome, but in a darkly charismatic way, with eyes like shards of ice that could give you chills with a single glance. This was my dear, utterly unhinged father, Victor Howard. Since that woman fled, this thing is useless. Dispose of it. His voice was devoid of warmth, as if he were discussing a bag of trash. I was terrified, desperate to scream for help, but only whimpers and cries escaped my throat. It was then that the system, in its usual slow manner, finally came online and briefed me on the plot. Victor Howard, the story's unhinged secondary villain, madly in love with the heroine, Mina Vance. Seeing Mina about to marry Ethan Thorne, the penniless hero with a brood of younger siblings, Victor spiraled into darkness. He prepared sedatives, chains, and a secluded room, planning one last, desperate act. But despite all his meticulous planning, he hadn't accounted for being waylaid by Alara Miller, a forgotten side character who'd secretly harbored feelings for him. Alara was a ruthless one herself. Mimicking Mina's style, she slept with Victor, then disappeared, only to drop me, still a newborn, at the gates of the Howard estate a year later. Tucked into my swaddling was a note, she's yours. Get a DNA test if you don't believe me. The plot was so ludicrous it made my head throb. Before I could internally curse out the system's entire lineage, Victor's gaze swept over me. My crying made his brow furrow into a knot of annoyance. Too noisy. The kneeling bodyguard tentatively asked, Mr. Howard, shall we take care of the child now? No, please, no, I'd just gotten this new life. Don't cancel my account already. Seeing Victor about to nod, my survival instincts flared, and I choked back my cries. The system had told me I looked remarkably like Victor, especially these eyes, a spitting image of his. Even a blind man could tell I was his biological child without a DNA test. So, I blinked furiously, tears welling in my eyes but not quite falling, my nose bright red, trying my hardest to be adorable. Sure enough, when Victor saw my eyes, he paused. The murderous intent in his gaze softened ever so slightly. After a long moment, I heard him scoff coldly. Keep her for now. Once I find that woman, we'll settle everything together. My heart, which had been lodged in my throat, finally settled back into my chest. Keeping her basically meant tossing me into a guest room and leaving me to my own devices. Victor's grand estate was eerily quiet, not even a nanny in sight. I was a baby, for heaven's sake. I had my pride, but more importantly, I needed to eat. No one paid me any mind, so I cried. From morning till night, until my throat was raw and I nearly fainted from hunger. Finally, Victor got fed up with my incessant wailing. He stomped in, face dark, and summoned a line of bodyguards.